What is it with all these Dreamworks movies getting shows on, like, Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon? I mean, Kung Fu Panda's got a show, Madagascar's got a show, and now How to Train Your Dragon has a show. Although I haven't seen Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness or the Madagascar show or any other DreamWorks show that might be out there. I haven't seen them, so I can't exactly comment on them. But if Dragons, Riders, and Defenders of Berk is anything to go by, they just might be worth checking out. If you loved How to Train Your Dragon, I'm sure you'll love this TV sequel. The show picks up right where the movie left off, and immediately offers some interesting and entertaining plots. There are points where this series almost manages to be as good as the movie. The show has a lot of greatly written, fun, entertaining plots involving the main character's life on Berk. It expands the world, it expands the lore, and it also introduces a lot of the more epic dragons we never got to see in the movie. And also the humor is great. Like, all the jokes and gags are perfectly timed, perfectly executed, and are just gut-busting. However, this show does have its low points, however, when it comes to writing, as there are quite a few episodes where characters hiccup most of the time, does something completely illogical and stupid, and not only that, but just feels really out of character. And there's also sometimes jokes that don't work, but they're thankfully very few and very minor, as the show usually manages to nail it every time. And this show actually managed to do something those other DreamWorks shows apparently didn't manage to do. It managed to get 4 of the main cast members back. Yeah, they got Jay Baruchel, America Ferrera, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and TJ Miller back. It's of course great that they managed to get all those original cast members back, but they've also got some really good replacements for the ones that they didn't get back. My favorites being Chris Edgerly as Gobber, who actually sounds a lot like Craig Ferguson, and Zach Perlman as Snotlout, who's he's just fucking great. Nolan North voices Stoic in the TV series, and he's not too great at first. But by the second season, either he improves substantially, or maybe I just got used to it by then. Oh, and Mark Hamill voices the main villain, Alvin the Treacherous. And yes, he is as awesome as you'd expect. Oh, and speaking of the villains, they're all awesome. Mark Hamill just kills it as Alvin the Treacherous, who's a refreshing, no-nonsense, badass motherfucker. Mildew is the cantankerous old fuck you love to hate, and there's of course my favorite, Dagger the Deranged. David Faustino voices Dagger, and he is frickin' hilarious in this role. Dagger is by far the most entertaining character in the show. Every episode he's in, he's a riot. My favorite episode in the series is when he's at his best. I just couldn't stop laughing at his antics and his instability. He also provided the most epic moment in the show. Dagger is a fantastic villain. So much so that I wonder if maybe they should have saved him or a character like him for the movie. And last but not least, let's talk about the animation. Although this will be a short topic when referring to this first season. In the first season, the animation wasn't impressive. Sure, it looked good for TV, but it looked ugly and in dire need of rendering. There were times when the animation looked downright repulsive. But then the second season came along, and holy fuck, the animation looked beautiful by then. The second season has so many little spectacular moments of animation like this, and the overall look was so much more impressive than they managed to do in the first season. I mean, this is probably some of the best animation you'll see on TV. I'm not sure how those other DreamWorks shows are, but Dragons, Riders, and Defenders of Berk is a worthy follow-up to the original. It's fun, it's smart, it's incredibly entertaining. If you're a How to Train Your Dragon fan, you should definitely check it out. And if you're feeling up to it, I have reviews of, or more like recaps of the few jokes littered here and there, of all the individual episodes of Dragons, Riders, and Defenders of Berk on my blog at thecriticalcanucks@blogspot.ca. You can find those in the description below, so be sure to check them out. If you agree or disagree with this video, be sure to discuss in the comments section, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also be sure to check out my blog at thecriticalcanucks@blogspot.ca, and also be sure to follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook, all that jazz. Links to all those are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be seeing you next time. Peace out, everybody.